Well, hi, folks. I know it looks like I'm going to take a bicycle ride, but I'm actually taking a trip of a different kind, as today we are going to be visiting an organization that's been in our area for decades, but I think it's still one of the best kept secrets in the area. Hi, welcome to Around the Town with Marilyn Forbes. Today we're going to be revisiting the Connellsville Area Community Ministries, and we're going to be talking with some of the folks there to see some of the updates and upgrades they have. We're also going to be talking about cool items like this bike that you can actually buy there. These are donated items, and all of the proceeds from these items and more goes right back into the ministries so they can continue to do their good works. So I know you're going to want to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, well, to start our, I guess you'd call it tour of the newly renovated and updated and reconstructed
There you go.
Connellsville Area Community Ministries. We're going to meet with the new executive director,
Yes,
Rita.
ma'am.
Rita, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's
Now,
great to see you.
we want to point out you're new at the title, but she's far from new with her affiliation with the organization here. So you want to tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. I started here in 2015, and I was a volunteer coordinator. And then after a year or two, shortly after the flood, I was director of operations. And then about a year later, Chip announced that he was moving on to Armstrong to work with all of you fine people. And after a couple months of the board doing a search, they hired me to be the executive director in February of this year.
Awesome. So you are brand spanking new at this position.
Yes.
But like I said, I'm sure she is well familiar with the workings of everything that's been going on, Hunt, so it was kind of a nice slide right in.
Yes, I hope so. In my head, that's what it was, but I hope that's true. I love it here. There was nowhere else I wanted to go, so I was glad it worked out.
Awesome.
I hope it works out for them, too.
Now, we did a show actually probably about 5 years ago on the ministries, and a lot has changed since that 5 years' time. But before we get on to the things that have changed, we actually want to kind of reiterate on some of the programs that they do offer here. Rita's going to let us know what all you can find here at the ministries.
Sure, we do. We have our thrift store. I think a lot of people are aware of that. A lot of our changes have to do with it. We're in our food pantry. We are the largest food pantry in Fayette County. Depending on the time of year, we can go from 350 to 600 families a month. The holidays, obviously, are the busiest times. Summer's busy when kids are out of school. So behind us are actually the shelves for our food pantry. We've just put a request out for some canned goods. As you can see, we're starting to get a little spotty. We have crisis assistance, so folks who need help with evictions or utility payments, maybe they just got custody of kids or their grandkids or something and they need some help. We're here. We can't always solve everybody's problem, but we could helpfully refer you to someone who can. We do medical equipment, which I think you'll see a little later in the video. It's for free and to anyone who needs it. We are a distribution site for UMCOR for their cleanup kits after a flood. We verify them here. We store them here. Anywhere in the Connellsville district of the United Methodist Church, we can deploy them. We've deployed them to Uniontown and some other places in the last year, as well as our own flooding incident we had a couple years ago. And that's pretty much the highlight, but when somebody calls and needs something, even if we've never done it before, we try our best. Yeah.
Now, we're going to back up to the food pantry. I do know that you do get so much funding and so much food from the state, the government.
Sure.
But you also depend a lot on the food drives and the generosity of the community itself.
Absolutely. We are a government-sanctioned, federally government, whatever, state, a whole slew of governments, food pantry.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It's a federal program administered by the state, distributed to us by the county, so follow that roadmap if you'd like to. And there's income qualifications for that and things. And this is the food pantry. This food that's behind us is all publicly donated. Behind the cameras are some coolers and freezers. We get food from Walmart, Martin's, and Cash Saver and Sheets every day, which is great because if you would look in the government box, in a number 1 box, which is for 1 to 2 people, there's typically between 12 to 15 items in it, and that's it.
And how long is that supposed to last?
They get 1 box a month.
Okay.
And it's a supplement, of course, to other types of assistance they can receive. But I know if that was like a mom and a single mom and a teenage son, that food, my 4-year-old could eat most of that food in a week. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not a whole awful lot. So we try our best to be able to supplement. When people leave here, they've got a nice little shopping cart, full of food. for us, it's more than hunger. Like, of course, this food is preventing folks from being hungry, but if we could spare $50 to $100 out of their budget on food that they don't need to spend now, they could pay their electric bill or rent or fix their car or do, the things that help them live better.
Right.
So it's more than just about, oh, they're not hungry. It saves them that money out of their budget every month. And if you're a retired senior citizen, you know that could be the difference between your medication or eating.
Right.
So it's more than just food. We try to provide as much as we can so that they can, use their money for other things that they need.
Now, if I wanted to have a food drive or a collection that would be benefiting your organization, do you just get in touch with you, or how does somebody go about getting that taken care of?
There's no, no set answer to that.
Okay.
Some people do it, then call us once they have the food.
that's what I was
Some people
wondering,
call us in advance and say, what do you guys need? Other people, and it really doesn't matter. We're just grateful for what we get. If you've already done it and want to bring it, back door, I think it's Orchard Alley. You can bring it anytime we're open. We're happy to take whatever, whenever. In the busier months, in the month of March, we give out over 3,000 additional items beyond what the government gives.
Wow.
So that's a lot of items, and we do that each month. So,
And that's one thing, too, I did want to point out. I know from doing stories with these folks in the past, like, this time of year is hard for you because there's not a lot of people that are doing the food drives and the collections. They normally do them around the holiday season, which makes sense.
Sure.
And as you said, in the summertime. But this is the void right here in the spring, and then I understand early fall as well.
Sure.
So if anybody out there is thinking of doing a food drive, you might want to consider maybe those. I mean, any time of the year, I know they will
Sure,
welcome
any
it. But those are the two times of the year that they kind of
the
things.
Connellsville Girls Softball League is actually doing a food drive for us on their opening day. So if you're attending Connellsville Girls Softball opening day, I think it's May 6th. Stop by and bring our big truck will be there. You'll see it. And Rick knows we talked on New Year's Day. We were at the Polar Plunge. They do stuff for us too, and we're just grateful for all of it. And we share. So when people donate here, our food pantry serves South Connellsville, the city, and Connellsville Township. Like Bullskin has one, Normalville has one, Lyson Ring, Dunbar. But we receive more than they do just because of our location and our connections with the local stores. So we share every month with Bullskin's food pantry, with Normalville's food pantry, and Lyson Ring's food pantry. They come once a month before their food pantry, and we give them between 10 to 20 banana boxes of whatever we can spare so that the people who come to their food pantries don't just leave with that little box either.
And again, I know we always highlight the best items. I mean, all non-perishable items are good, in date,
Sure. Yeah.
nothing
Right.
outdated. But like the canned meats, peanut butter.
Peanut butter and jelly is a meal, a loaf of bread. Even if we give them one and it runs out, it's $1. Sometimes, you can scrape that up, or maybe a friend would buy you a loaf of bread or something. That's a good meal, actually. It has the protein, it has sugars, it has the fruit. People don't have access to a kitchen. In the warmer months, we do see a lot of folks who are transient going up and down the bike trail, or folks this is as far as they could go on Amtrak, so here they are. And, they don't have a kitchen. So what do you do if somebody doesn't have access to a kitchen? So a lot of the staples we tend to ask for, like the peanut butter and jelly and bread and things, are because that's a meal. For somebody who doesn't have access to a kitchen, they could eat that for a couple days, granola bars, whatever, and still it's better than a bag of chips and pop or something. You know what I mean? It's a little bit healthier for them, and it is non-perishable and lasts for a while. So that's part of the reason those items are on our list, is we have folks who just don't have access to a kitchen.
Okay, before we move on out to check out some of the renovations, I do want to talk to you real quickly about volunteers. I do know, as I said from in the past, how important volunteers are to your organization, and I know you guys are blessed with over 100 or something like that.
Yeah, if you add, we have groups. A life skills class from the high school comes every other Wednesday, and they help us check expiration dates. We have groups from local churches. Pennsville usually sends a good youth group. Pastor King out of Scottsdale and their youth group come often. Fayette Resources sends a group Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you add all them into our regular crew who is here most days. Of our 20 to 40 we have who come at least like once a month or so. Some come every day. I mean, last year we had 3 volunteers go over 1,000 hours for the year individually. You know what I mean? Like each one did over 1,000 hours that year, and that was the first time that one person had gone over 1,000 hours. They're here every day. They're here from the time we open to the time we close every day.
And I know that I've talked to volunteers in the past. People love it here. There are people that, like they say, they come here, they're made, to feel welcome. It's like a big family. And I do know that even if you only have a couple hours a week, they'll find something for you to do.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and a lot of people, I have little kids and I work, and so, I know free time isn't something that a lot of people have, but here you could go through a couple bags of donated clothes and check them out in an hour. You could make probably 10, 15, 20 food boxes in an hour. You could do a lot here in a little bit of time. The state did change the laws in 2015 to anyone who has routine interaction with children needs to have their clearances. Yes. But they made them free, and we have all the paperwork here so we can help you get them. So we need those before people can start. If they already have them, maybe they're a teacher or a nurse or retired from those careers and they still have their clearances, that we can accept those as well.
Some of the clearances last for a while, right?
5 years.
5 years?
Yep,
Oh.
they last for 5 years. So it's a temporary hassle, but we have kids here, we have juvenile probation kids, we have youth groups that come, we have youth employment programs here. We just make everybody do it. It's just the safest thing for us to do. So everybody just does it. Yeah. And our volunteers are great. They are a family. They all take their lunch breaks together, and you should hear them back. It's like any other family. They're laughing and joking, and they're great. They're amazing. We literally could not do it without them.
I don't know how many times I've heard that, and I know it's true.
We have 6 employees, and I think 2 of us are full time. So if we didn't have them here every day, I couldn't imagine.
Look how this place runs. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's not like, oh, these are volunteer jobs. If we could pay them, we would, because what they do is that important. It's not like, oh, you go do something that makes you feel good. They're in the thick of it all day, every day. We literally could not. There isn't a single thing here that our volunteers can't do.
Wow, that's wonderful.
So
now, before we go out into the open air out there, I guess, and talk with Barry, you want to tell us what your hours of operation are and how somebody can get in touch with you for donation, for volunteer, just for information?
Sure. You can call our phone number, 724-626-1120. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 3, and Saturdays, 9 to 1. Or you can check out our website, which is connmin.org, connmin.org. All the volunteer forms are there. The links to the clearances are there if you wanted to do them online. Pretty much all the information. We accept donations when we're open all the time, from 9 to 3. We answer the phones from 9 to 3, so just call us or stop by. We're always here.
And you made a comment, too, about drop-offs are in the back or in the alley behind?
Furniture comes up front because we don't have to carry it upstairs if you just bring it in the door. But there are big metal receiving doors in the back of our building. Like if you were to come out PNC Bank's drive-through and head to Pittsburgh Street, there are big metal receiving doors. There's a little doorbell above it you can ring because not always is someone standing right there. They might not have noticed you pulled up. And everything else comes in down there. As they walk around later, you'll see we have a conveyor belt system downstairs that was here from McCrory's and brings stuff upstairs for us. So it's nice. Yes, that's definitely the highlight of the building.
Okay, anything else you want to add today?
I think we're good. If you see our new store and check out our medical equipment, I don't think a lot of people know we have that.
I had no idea, so we're going to check that out.
Our food pantry is a smaller service area. Our general service area is the school district, the Connellsville School District. Medical equipment is for anyone, anywhere. We had people come from West Virginia, Ohio, whatever, to get what they needed because driving here was cheaper than paying $400 or $500 for what they needed. We had an Eagle Scout come in, Nick Sosko from Scottdale, came in and with a little team of other Eagle Scouts, and his dad did shelving and really helped us get it organized and stuff. And then who you'll meet later, Chuck Hubble, he is over that. He coordinates all that. He checks the stuff that comes in. He keeps the inventory, all that. So you'll talk to him. But we really want people to know it's here and use it. It's free.
As I said, I never knew, so that's awesome.
Yeah, so you'll see that
check
later
it out.
too.
Okay, all right, great.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Okay, now I have with me Barry, who's actually the president?
Board president.
Board president
Yes.
here. And before we go into the new qualities and everything that's going on around here, we're going to talk a little bit about the old. He's going to give us a little bit of a history, actually, on the ministries itself.
Okay.
So start us off, Barry.
Gladly do that. In 1968, the Central Methodist Church on Apple Street across from the Courier burnt down. It was an accidental fire. It happened March 28th of 1968. And as Connellsville still to this day has a number of churches, they decided to not rebuild that church because at the time the Methodist Church was merging with the EUB Church and forming the United Methodist Church. And so they decided to do something different with the money and with the fire money, and so they formed Connellsville Area Community Ministries. And that started in 1974 with Reverend George Schulzebarger, and it started in the old high school, actually where I went to junior high on Fairview Avenue. And we used a part of the first floor of that building. We had 2 rooms for our Care and Share boutique, which we opened up. And then we had some other rooms we used for storage and for food pantry. And so we stayed there from 1974. I believe 1978, we hired, the Methodist Conference actually appointed Reverend Jerry Witt to take over. Reverend Schulzebarger was moved at the time and then retired. And then he ran it until his retirement, I believe in 1996, and then Reverend Terry Geist. He was at the Paradise United Methodist Church out in 982, and he was appointed to Community Ministries as a director. And then upon his retirement in 2010, we decided they appointed a Reverend Sean Goodwin, and we decided maybe we should go a different direction. We needed more room and more space. And so this particular building, the old McCrory's department store, which had been Burns Drug after the Burns Drug store in Connellsville had burnt down in a fire. They moved here for a few years. We were able to purchase that building. We have 21,000 square feet on this main floor here, and then also in the basement area we have that. And so we moved here in 2011, and so we've been here since. And after Reverend Goodwin came, the Methodist Conference appointed 2 co-directors. And then after that, we hired our own director in 2012, which would have been Chip Rowan. And Chip Rowan was our director here for 4.5 years. And then he moved on to Armstrong. And he was a wonderful director. He just turned this building into a totally different building than what it was. And the organization skills that he had were amazing. And the contacts that he had were amazing. So we took this building here, and under his leadership, where we have our Care and Share boutique right now, this past year, we did $127,000 of business out of this store, and that's all donated. Whether it's clothing or furniture, it was all donated, and we're able to sell it at a really good price to people in need. And so after Chip left, we appointed an interim director, Rita Smith, who Chip had hired about 2 years before that. And Rita, it was a great story from God. Rita grew up here in Connellsville, and she worked for government programs in Alabama and Washington, D.C., and she decided to come back home without a job. Her husband had a job, but to raise her 2 little girls. And so she saw an ad in the paper that Chip had put in and for a volunteer coordinator, and she applied, and she got the job. And now she's our executive director. And but after Chip left, we decided to open the store up. Tear some walls down and open the store up so we could do even more business, because we had a lot of things in the basement, plus we didn't have room for the furniture that we were getting donated for. So we moved the furniture in here. We have a truck to pick it up. If anybody has a donated furniture they would like to have us pick up, just call here at the ministry and we will pick it up. And also my business, Craig Appliance and Furniture, we pick up for the ministry. And so it's just a wonderful thing to be a part of. I feel like I'm not only blessed, but I'm privileged to be the president of the board, which I'm coming up on my 5th year of that, and 15 years on the board.
God bless you.
So,
well, for anybody who was here prior to this new open look, it actually was just like a hallway before. When the food pantry was up front, it was a large food pantry, and then it was actually just a fraction of this size had the furniture and such in it. So now you can see they actually flipped it.
yes.
And this is amazing. This furniture is really nice. It's of great quality. I was telling Rick earlier, actually the bedroom furniture in my guest bedroom came from here. And I can tell you, I didn't even pay $100 for the whole set. And I get compliments on it all the time.
Yes, yeah, it's like I said, there's great values in here, and by purchasing things here, you help the community, you help the ministry. It's about 1/3 of our budget that sells out of this store. And so we appreciate it very much. And we're open 9 to 3 Monday through Friday and 9 to 1 on Saturdays, closed Sundays. And so please come in and shop. And if you don't find something you want one day, come back the next day, because there's constantly things coming and going here. It's really a neat place.
And actually, too, in addition to the furniture, there's a lot of clothing, there's books, there's household items. And I know from there, again, from in the past, doing stories and shows here, they actually have a room in the back with volunteers. They go through everything. Everything is clean. Everything is very well organized, as you can see. And this isn't just for our purpose of the shows today. This is how it looks all the time. And, you can get good quality stuff for pennies, literally. I mean, it's awesome.
Exactly. And we ask if with donated clothing, now we found a source that even if you have stained or torn clothing, just bag it separately and give it to us, because we're able to sell that for about 12 and a half cents a pound. And they use it for insulation. They actually shred it and use it and make insulation out of it. So there's always a use for something, so it doesn't have to end up in a landfill.
That is awesome. Because I was actually going to say they don't want anything that's torn. I'll tell you do. That's
We do.
really awesome.
And if you separate it for us, then we don't have to go through it, because we do go through everything. And we found some treasures in things we've gone through. We found hundreds of dollars in items.
Did you really?
Yes. And so so maybe if you're a little down, clean out your pockets. You never know what you might find at home.
And check those drawers and everything, huh?
Exactly.
You never know what you're going to find in one of those. Well, Barry, anything else you want to add? We're actually going to take a quick stop down to the basement real quick and look at all of your medical
hospital equipment?
Yes.
Okay.
Where did I get military from?
Yeah, just when you come in the front door here, as he's showing, the counters right on the front, we have a public restroom that we added in the front,
that's right.
and so we have that here. So, and we still have plans on even doing more expansion. And so the neat part about this building, when we looked at it, my grandmother worked in this basement of this building, and when we go downstairs, we'll see that. And I used to come and watch her make things, actually, because everything was made in this country at one time. And down in the basement. And when they left this building, the conveyor system and everything is still intact. We didn't have to do much service to it. So when you drop things off, we don't ask you to do it at the front door. We have a rear entrance in the alley, and it's manned down there, so it's real easy to drop off. It goes right on the conveyors, and after they sort through there, then it comes upstairs on a conveyor, and for the final sorting before it gets put out. So it's a really neat organization. So just thank you so much for your support in the past, and we're looking forward to more support in the future.
Okay, awesome. So we're going downstairs.
We're going
Okay,
downstairs.
stick with us. Okay, for our final stop today, we are actually in the basement area of the Connellsville Area Community Ministries, and I'm here with Chuck, who actually has taken over the medical supply area, I guess I could say.
Correct.
And he's going to tell us what all they have here and how you folks can maybe take advantage of it or even contribute to it. Chuck, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much.
Okay, what's happening here?
Well, when people pass or when they find that they no longer need medical supplies, they don't know what to do with them. So very often they bring them here. And that could be anywhere from adult diapers to walkers to hospital beds or anything in between. When they bring them here, it used to be that nobody knew what we had. And so I volunteered to kind of take over and manage so that we know what we have. And not only I know it, but they know it at the front desk when you come in the reception area. They also know it down here in the area so somebody can get it. We have a lot of different unique items that people drop off. Stuff that we can't use a lot of times. I would love to be able to be a facilitator to get rid of catheters, but I can't. And so we can't give them away, you can't sell them, can't do anything with them. So we send those to an outfit called Brothers Brother in Pittsburgh. Okay. Brothers Brother is an outfit that takes medical supplies and disperses them all over the world. So we get an opportunity to get rid of, if somebody donates to us, we can't use it, we don't throw it away. We send it to Brothers Brother. Another outlet that we have is a place called Wheels of Hope. They take old, broken down wheelchairs and crutches and everything else and refurbish them and make them better. And they give them to people who could use them throughout there.
Oh, awesome.
So we get a lot of different stuff, and we have a CPAP machine.
Really?
Yeah, we have.
For all you snorers out there. Well, I guess, or just sleep apnea, I guess, is what that.
Sleep apnea is what it's for. I mean, we have that. We've had nebulizers in the past, but now we're out of them. People donate these things, and we don't. But we try not to keep a lot of inventory on that.
Right. But you do have a lot here. I mean, there's a lot of different walkers.
Now there's different kinds of walkers. There's walkers that have different kinds of opening. There's heavy-duty walkers with 2 or 3 wheels. There's walkers with trays. We had walkers with no wheels on it that somebody even wanted yesterday. We carry hospital or shower chairs. A lot of times people want a shower chair with a back. Those are harder to come by. And what people want mostly is a transfer shower chair where you can put part of the shower chair in the bathtub and part out, and you just move somebody across. But then we get a lot of unique items.
Yes, like this one, for instance.
You've probably seen something like this at the carnival or at the fair. But
I guess it had something to do with a dog.
it would be. I mean,
Well,
you were thinking it was going to be something else, and I know I saw it.
Tell us what it is.
Okay, if somebody's hospital bed bound or wheelchair bound or something, and they have difficulty moving their leg, all they do is put this over their foot, and they can move their leg. It's a very easy way for them
To give them a little bit more mobility.
Nobody knew what these were. I didn't know it. It took me 3 months to figure out by going to the internet what this was.
And then what's this doodaddle here? I guessed it was to grab something. I guess I was right.
Well,
But I didn't say close.
I'm not sure what you would really grab with it, except it's called a dressing stick. And if you put it behind your collar, when you're in a wheelchair or something and you can't reach or your arms probably, you can pull it around and you can set it up.
Is that for a zipper, possibly?
I haven't determined the use for that yet.
Could be for a zipper.
It could be. It could be. It probably is. Let's call it that way.
We'll say it's for
It's for something. It has a nice little hook to it. It has for something.
And also, too, I wanted to point out what I have in my hand actually is an inventory list of everything they have. So if you'd call up and you would want a specific item, they have this right at their fingertips. And it's updated. Chuck said every
2 days.
other day he does it.
One of the items that's donated quite frequently is adult diapers and adult incontinence products. Insurance companies rarely, if ever, pay for these items. A package of these will generally cost about $25.
They're expensive.
What we offer here, and with all of our medical supplies, is that if somebody wants or needs the item, we offer it to them at no charge. We're willing to accept donations and be in lieu of a charge, but we offer for no charge. We have people come in and buy, or not buy, but look at it. We got small, medium, large, extra large. We even go up to 3 extra large and 4 extra large. And I got to tell you, that's large. It says 100-inch waist. I'm thinking that's pretty.
Wow. Even Santa's waist isn't that big.
Even Santa's waist isn't that big.
And go ahead.
So anyway, we have them, and they're available.
And how much does all of this cost?
All of this is available at no charge.
That's awesome.
All somebody has to do is ask for them, and we give them. I don't even ask if you need them. If you ask me for adult diapers, you have a use for them. I'm not going to embarrass you and ask you why you need them.
Okay. So then there again, too, as Chuck pointed out, if you happen to lose a loved one or even maybe place someone has to go into a care home or a care facility and you have some items that are around, please bring them over here and donate them. Chuck will make sure that they're put to good use and find a good home and someone else that can use them.
I will. Thank you so very much.
Okay,
It's
thank
a pleasure
you.
seeing you again.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the show. I know I did. I always really love to have an excuse to come here and visit with these people. It's a great, great organization made up of a lot of great volunteers and people like Barry and Rita who really put their whole heart and soul into bringing something like this to the community. It's a good place for you to come and to buy some things, and it's also a great place for you to come and donate some things and even donate some of your time. So please keep this in mind anytime you're having a yard sale or even wanting to buy something for your own house, or maybe even having some time that you want to donate to volunteer. So again, I hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, keep smiling, keep dreaming, and keep watching. Bye.